Sadnam aloha. Welcome. So today I want to talk about the new moon that's coming up on the 27th. And so here's the things that we'll cover in this video. So who's on the Phoenix Fractal? We'll go a little bit more into depth with that. The overall human design codes. The 24th gate, because the new moon activates the 24th gate. Hair medicine, H-A-R-E. And the divine feminine retreat. And then we'll go into the Phoenix Fractal reading, the twin flame message, and then the human design messages. Okay, so let's talk about the fractal. So remember that you'll know that you're on my fractal, and which is like a soul tribe. So there's 144,000 fractals on the planet, or templates you could call them. And each person belongs on one of those 144,000 templates. So we don't belong just to anyone. And these are the people that you have a soul destiny with. It's not about paying a bunch of karma off. That's usually you're with somebody who's not on your fractal line. And that's what a karmic is. And that's why it can feel very magnetic and pulled together, because the karma is the glue that brings you together, but it doesn't have a future in terms of your soul destiny and your liberation and your enlightenment in this lifetime. Okay, so let's look at this. So there's the Phoenix Fractal. And so if you have Pluto and Scorpio placement, a stellium in Scorpio, or the 8th house, or even Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, or you strongly resonate with these messages, then yes, you'll be on my fractal. And you're going to feel it in your body right now if you just like relax your shoulders down and listen to the frequency of my voice. It will calm your nervous system and relax the body. And what my words will stir up your memories, and you'll begin to remember who you really are. My ascendant, right, is Leo rising, but it's the 33, which is about remembering. So, but I also want to add something about this fractal. So life is your mirror. Life is your mirror. So life is mirroring back to you. This is like life in general, your relationships, everything in your life is mirroring you back, right? So everything that you see and experience in the world is you being mirrored back. This is a spiritual teaching. So people on my fractal, you're not afraid of what the mirror shows you, because you've chosen growth and evolution in this lifetime. And so you take responsibility for your state of consciousness. This is what it means to be a spiritual adult. You take responsibility for your state of consciousness. You take responsibility for the quality of your experience in this lifetime, which means you don't project on the mirror, right? You don't blame the mirror. You process, you integrate, and then you alchemize. So really with the mirror, when the mirror is showing you something that you don't like to see, right, that you don't like to see about yourself, you take the medicine of the lesson to heal. So you have a choice. Am I going to take the medicine of this lesson to heal? Or am I going to take the bait, which means I repeat the wounding? Right? And this keeps you trapped in the consciousness of a wounded feminine. So if you have these qualities, right, that you're taking responsibility, you've chosen growth and evolution in this lifetime, then yes, you're on my Phoenix Fractal, because I am here to empower the divine feminine. I'm not here to feed the wounded feminine, right? I'm here to empower you as a divine feminine. Okay, so that's a little thing that I wanted to add about the Phoenix Fractal. And if this isn't you, if you are fine being in your wounded feminine and staying in victim consciousness, then you're not on my fractal, and you should probably move on, because there's lots of YouTube channels that will feed this wounded feminine. Okay? So let's go back to the outline. So we're going to go over the overall human design codes here. So what's happening? So there's the chart here. And there's the moon. So it's in the 24th gate. And this is coming off the Ajna here. This is the Ajna in human design. So let's just see what else is going on, so that we can get a sense of how to approach this new moon. So this is the transit, right, chart. So remember that the new moon isn't until April 27th, right? Right at the time of this recording is April 22nd. And so the moon is disappearing, right? So it's waning. So this means that you're letting go of something this week. So this is preparing you for this new moon, okay, on the 27th. So what do we have? We've got moon is squaring Mars, right? So the Mars is in the 31st gate, third line, squaring the moon, and then it's opposite Pluto in the 41, and the 41's down here. Okay? So this is a power struggle with yourself before anyone else. So this is where you don't want to blame the mirror. So what is the mirror showing you when people are coming into your life and you have this power struggle with them? You take it inward. You take the message. What's the message? It means that I'm in a power struggle with myself, right? It has nothing to do with that other person. It's about me. I bring it back to me, and I integrate the lesson and I alchemize it. That's what we do on the Phoenix Fractal. Right? So no blaming and complaining and fighting the mirror, because you fight the mirror, who gets hurt? You do. You've got the bloody hands, right? So it's about taking responsibility this new moon, right? For yourself and your own consciousness. So then we have gate 31, which is Mars. It's the gate of influence here, which is like you want to speak. You want to have influence in your life, but you may feel blocked or even mocked and made fun of, right? You are challenged. You can experience challenges in this area. The gate 41, Pluto, right? It's about contraction. Wants to start a new experience. The shadow is fantasy. Wants to start a new experience. But Pluto demands that you transform first, that you change, that you come into truth. So there's a tension between wanting to influence others, wanting your voice to be heard with others, and at the same time staying authentic and true to yourself. So this T-square creates a pressure cooker for you, and it's about you, right? So your mind 24, we're going to go deeper into this, your mind, right? The 24, that's what the moon is activating, wants silence, and your will, Mars, wants to be heard, wants power, and your soul wants truth. So what does this mean? Well, you may feel frustrated this week leading up to the new moon. You may feel silenced or misunderstood, right? But, right? Or you've been feeling this way all your life, but it's like you keep burying it down. It's okay, spiritual bypass, right? Not now, not with this T-square pressure. It's pressuring you to be real and authentic. So it's creating an alchemical compression within you and your psyche. And so this is meant for you to break out of the loop of not self, right? Not self, this fake identity that you've created in your life, so that you can be hiding, high priestess in hiding, so that you can hide and not be visible in this lifetime. And we already talked about that with the Cathars, where this comes from, right? So this is like you're breaking the loop, The new moon wants you to break out of this loop of not self-expression so that you can return to your essence, and your essence is your power. There's no power in the not self, right? And so we also have Venus, Saturn in the North Node. Venus, and there's Saturn in the North Node, right? So 25 is really close to the 36. Venus is actually still in the 36 right now at the time of this recording, but it's going to move into the 25, but they're really close. Astrologically, they're conjunct, right? So this is about innocence, right? So Venus is the ruler of the new moon. So we have to look at her, like what she's saying here. So this is about your own love of self, right? It's universal love. It's innocence, your innocence, your divine innocence. So line 1, it's in line 1. So this means the foundation. You're going into the foundation of your own sense of love, right? Love of yourself. And getting it from your, tapping in, aligning to that love that's already within you, not looking outside of yourself. Like, what do I got to do? I got to do a dong and pony show for this person, and I got to people please, and I can't say this, and I should say that. Like all these games. The new moon wants you to drop it, right? It's to stop looking outside of yourself for validation, for respect, and for love, right? For crumbs, like looking for... It's time to stop being a beggar and go inside and see the inner resources. And it's Taurus, right? Taurus is all about valuing your own self and knowing that your own inner resources, the real resources, are not outside of you, they're inside of you. It's about valuing yourself. So so this says that it's got to be sincere, right? Because Saturn is there too. It's got to be sincere. And Saturn won't let you get away with playing these games anymore, right? And then it's conjunct the North Node. So this is a karmic correction, right? The feminine must release the past story of betrayal, letting go of the wounded feminine, right? That was betrayed in the past, and letting go of that story. And return to your own self-love, your own well of love inside you. And then you've got, so this is really, it's a recalibration of your heart, this here. And so this is letting go of spiritual bypassing too, right? That's another one. And spiritual bypassing is when you leapfrog over those hurt feelings. Right? But you don't want to be ruled by them anymore. This is about letting go this week, like a deep, deep let go. And then you've got Mercury in the 21. So this is the willpower center in human design, and this is the throat, the brown. So these two are connecting, and they're forming a channel, which is the channel of money, the money channel. So you want to check to see if you have that natally. And so Mercury's activating the 21, and then Jupiter's in the 45. So this is truth about power. Discover the truth about power and value and speaking now. So the 21 is about the struggle of control, right? And this is you trying to control your own inner chaos. And your own inner chaos is the emotions and everything that are coming up, Divine Feminine. Right? And remember what I've talked about this in the last video, and the video before. Your chaos is part of what it means to be a Divine Feminine. It's like a storm inside you that moves. But what it leaves behind is the truth, So this is saying to not be trying to control it, right, with the 21 here. And certainly not trying to control other people, right? And then we've got the 45 up here is bringing your own sense of inner authority, your self-sovereignty, right? And this is expanding here. And it's like, who's holding the mic? Who's holding the mic in your life, right? Are you holding the mic in your life, or are you giving the mic over to your partner, your karmic partner? or your karmic friends, or somebody that give you power over. Here's the mic. Here's my mic. You speak for me. All these games are saying to stop for this new moon. Right? Because it's Mercury, communication. So big revelations around money and power and control. Right? And here's the snag with the karmic relationships is who is paying the bills. Who's paying the bills has control, right? Who's holding the purse strings has control. Where you're going to learn about this, right? This is tribal consciousness, and tribal consciousness is like the transactional relationship. I pay for this, so I get to control you. I get to tell you what to say, how to behave, even how to dress, all of that stuff, right? So some major truths are going to start to come up this week. And you have to remember, nobody owns you. Nobody can buy you with money. You're right. Your value can't be determined by a dollar, by a number, right? You're priceless. You can't put a price on your head. So this is you stepping in. This is like you stepping into your own, your own self-sovereignty and your own rulership of the self, your own inner authority here. And so this is about voicing. The 45 is voicing boundaries, Divine Feminine. So it's about vocalizing your boundaries, not assuming that people know what your boundaries are. You have to voice them. That's part of the lesson for this new moon. And there's a tension between doing it all yourself, the 21, and then sharing resources, and then you're sharing resources with another. And how does that work for you, right? Is it unequal in your present relationships? Are you giving your power over because of money, because somebody has more money than you do, or they're paying your bills, right? So you're really being pulled. We'll go into this with this 24 as you're pulled through a mental wormhole. While your body is experiencing karmic waves, your real Divine Feminine, you're really going to feel this in your body, of the pressure to release distortions around love, control, and influence, and what that means in your life. So you could be pulled into obsessive thoughts with the 24, and tension around really being heard with the 31. Who are you following? Who's influencing you? Who has influence over you? It's time to stop that. Who's conditioning you with the 31? Right? And conditioning you not to do your soul purpose, not to step into your power. Who's influencing you to stay small? You're going to see all that stuff this week. If you open your eyes and you respect the mirror, you don't blame the mirror. You don't blame this karmic that's showing you all this stuff, right? There's the reflection. Is take the medicine and alchemize it and integrate it, and then listen to yourself, your higher self, about taking action or non-action, right? And then your soul is under a huge pressure to evolve and start anew with the 41. So you're called to anchor deeper love, right, with this 25 in Venus, and then to set boundaries, right, here. But the secret sauce here, we have to go to the 24, and the 24 is about silence, and this is when the loop breaks, right? So that's what the new moon is showing us. This is where the karmic loop breaks, right here. And this is where the new frequency emerges. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper into this 24th gate, right? Okay, so you saw it up here, right? It's coming off the ajna, right here. So you have to know that you are not your mind. Right? So if you meditate, you know this. You, the awareness, right? That's always present. That was here that was never born, that will never die, that's just here. This is you, this awareness, right? That you're not your mind. You're not your mind. You're a witness of your mind, and your mind is actually a tool. So depending on your design, your human design, it will work in a unique way for you. Okay, so there's you, the soul, the awareness that's watching, right? That watches your mind. And this is why you really need to meditate, Divine Feminine, right? So that you can have a relationship with your mind. And I've got lots of free meditations on my website and my YouTube channel too. So let's look at this 24. It's 24, line 1, and this is return to resolve. Return to resolve. And it's interesting because this is my Jupiter. I have Jupiter in the 24th gate, line 1, exactly line 1. So I know this personally. So this is the mind that loops quietly. It's returning to a thought, not to obsess about it, but to resolve something essential. Right? So this is you, the awareness. You're not the one looping. You're not looping at all. You're watching. Right? Where you get trapped is when you think that you are your mind, and then you get into the crazy town, right? With this mind, because it's looping. It's just what it does. It's mechanical. If you look at it just like just as a tool. So this is the mind just doing its job, and it's working behind the scenes. So it's looping about something, right? It's looping, back and forth, returning, right? It's returning. So there's a hunger for mental completion, but you can't force it. So the simple example to use is like, you hear a song or a few notes of a song, and then someone is asking you, what's the name of that song and who's the artist? And it's right there. It's like it's in the tip of your tongue, but you can't get it, right? So you just let it go. It's like, why can't I remember that? Why can't I remember that? So you go home, right? And then the next day, out of the blue, you may be doing something very, very mundane, doing your laundry or whatever, not even trying, not even thinking of that song, and then ping, the name just arrives without your effort. This is the 24, right? The 24. So that's mental resolution. So do you see? It's returns to resolve something. The mind is working to resolve something. And this is part of just the mechanics of having a mind. It does want resolution, right? That's why when you see those word games, where they have the consonants and you can't really see the word, but you can read it. I can read those things like nobody's business. I know exactly what it is because my mind, my 24, is filling in all the letters, right? The letters, so I know exactly what it's communicating. Same with sentences. If it's missing a word or this word or it's misspelled, I can still read it. So you may relate to this, right? Like, let me know if you got the 24. So what happens, this mental resolution happens not through pressure, not applying mental pressure, but giving it space and relaxing the mind. Just letting the mind relax and do its thing. And so when you allow the return, your mind to just return and circle back, right, without anxiety, the insight ripens, and what emerges is original and your truth. So I used like a mundane example there, but if you're thinking about your past, right, something in your past or a person in your past or an experience you had in your past, and it's like it keeps going over why am I constantly thinking of this person or this experience I had? Well, it's your mind looking to resolve something, right? It's going back like, did I miss something, right? It's like a detective. Did I miss something? Frame by frame, I'm rewinding this experience to pick up something else. I'm picking up something else, right? So you just let your mind do its thing, and then what will happen is it will come with an insight, right? And the insight will be, that's why, right? but you can't interfere with it. It will just make you anxious. You'll be up in the middle of the night, anxiety, trying like, I got to figure this out. It's not about figuring anything out. So this is the magic, right? Is the gap, right? So how this happens is like the gap between the thoughts, right? This is the seeker's mind, right? And the gap between the thoughts is silence. So to return to resolve, so that's what it's doing. It's the mind is returning to resolve. And this is the moment right now, if we talk about this time this week, your energy body is shifted. And I've heard this from quite a few people, is I feel strange. I feel disoriented, right? Well, your energy body has shifted, right? Your emotional wave has crashed. This is what's happened this week. But the mind doesn't understand. And part of you knows this. Something shifted, a timeline shifted. Something's really, really different right now for me in my life. It's like, but the mind is like, I don't understand. It's like, it's looking for its sea legs, right? So, but we've switched timelines. We've switched timelines. Your energy body and your soul, right, know that we've switched timelines. But the mind's not so smart, right? It's not so smart. We worship the mind, but it's not that smart. It's just a tool. So it has to catch up, right? So that's the mind will say, something's changed, but what is it? What is it? And then it starts this returning to resolve. And this is what the mind is returning to, right? The mind hasn't caught up yet, right? But we're coming to this new moon. So it's like everybody's system has already mutated subtly over the past few weeks, especially with the Mars-Pluto tension. They're in opposition now. We've been in it for quite a while. The Venus-Saturn North Node initiation that we're in right now as of this recording. And then the eclipse energy still integrating, right? But the mental synthesis hasn't landed yet. It hasn't landed yet. So this can be experiences like, I don't know what to do. Should I leave? Should I stay? What do I want to do, right? In terms of my soul purpose, right? There can be a lot of like just this mental uncertainty, right? Because things haven't landed yet. Your mind is still returning in the background. You may not even be aware of what your mind's doing right now, right? So the new moon in the gate 24-1, this is the pause. It's a sacred pause before the ping, the epiphany, right? You're going to get the ping on new moon, right? So this moon phase isn't really about fresh declarations. It's not about setting goals. It's about giving your mind space this week to catch up with what your body and your soul already know, which is I've shifted, something shifted. So it's a sacred silence before the knowing arrives. Right? So it's okay for you not to have words yet for what's going on. And you're not lost, and you're in the pause before the resolution. So I want you to trust and know that it's coming. Right? And then okay. So this is the letting go. So what you're doing is you're going to let go of the need to know. I'm just going to let that go. I'm not going to, it's like, I'll find out when I need to find out. I'm going to let go of this needing to know. Needing to understand before you can feel safe, right? Or looping the same questions out of fear, right? And the fear is, I won't have the answer. I won't have the answer. And I'm still in this state of confusion. There's that fear. And it's the purge. This is the purge before the quantum leap. So the other thing that the 24 is doing, it's throwing off, it's like a Mercury retrograde, right? It's throwing off the thoughts that aren't serving you. So it's a purge, right? So this is like, this week is to face the discomfort of silence, being in silence. How are you with silence? Not on your phone, right? Not distracted by outside stimulus, just silent, not talking, right? Just in silence, right? How are you? You want to feel that discomfort of silence, or the discomfort of I don't know. I don't know. Right? And the ego doesn't like that. The ego thinks that it knows everything. Right? It has an answer for everything. It doesn't feel good in this space of not knowing, but there's power in not knowing. And then letting go of trying to control your healing timeline. Like when everything in your life timeline, well, this will happen at this time and that will happen at that time. Remember, with the cross of the sleeping phoenix, we're coming into the present now moment. So you want to witness the voice in the head, that voice in your head, and then you dissolve it. So a mutation of the mind is happening here. And if we go back to, right, this channel, the channel of awareness, the 24 and the 61, that's an individual channel. And whenever you have individual channels, it means there's a mutation, right? So you want to allow the mutation of the mind here. So your mantra is, I don't know, and I'm listening. I don't know, but I'm listening. I'm listening inside, right? I don't know. I'm just listening. I'm listening for the answer. I'm not exerting any effort, right? So not the new moon where you're setting goals. It's the kind where you let the old ways of thinking collapse, because that's the mutation. Your old ways of thinking collapse. Your default ways, right? And maybe the default way is like, well, that will never work, or how can I make money from doing that? And right away it just shuts you down from any creativity, right? Any creative thoughts that emerge. I remember, I'm thinking of a story, I'm probably supposed to share it with you, with my ex-wife, and she really struggled with trust, like trusting in the divine. And I would always be pointing her to that, right? Just trust in the divine, everything will be fine. And she worried a lot about money. Her motivation was fear and human design too, and survival. And so we had just moved, and she wanted to go back and visit her family. She wanted to go back, but she's like, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have it. How will that work? And she was meditating, and she said, oh, Michael said that I have to trust. Okay, I'm just going to trust. And as soon as she went into that space of trust, her intuition popped up and said, don't you remember you put like $1,000 in the laundry hamper, like stuffed that away? And she said, and there was the money. So it was like, it's like you have to get out of your own habitual way of thinking. And that was her, worry, fret. And then that allows the creativity to come through, right? Your intuition to come through. So this is out of the silence. Right? Out of the silence. This is the gap. And this is about originality comes, right? Creativity. So it's letting the old ways of thinking collapse. It's like, I'm not going to follow that train of thought. I'm not getting on that train of thought. I know where it leads, right? It's me like stressed out and contracted and fretting and worrying and up in the middle of the night. I'm not going to get on that train. I'm going to see if there's another train that's going to come, another train of thought. And that's the silence. Just watch the mind and to listen, right? So in the right time, the new song, the new frequency can rise from silence. So from silence comes originality and creativity here too. So the gap between the words, that's the place where you jump the timeline. You jump the timeline and you go into a whole other timeline that's more aligned with you and your soul purpose, right? And your soul purpose. And answers come and solutions come, but they're not going to come from your habitual way of thinking. You'll just, habitual way of thinking, habits, just creates the same habits, the same actions that go nowhere. Okay, so this is the listener. You're going to be the listener between the words now. And then let's go to the hare. This is the totem, H-A-R-E, not H-A-R-I-R, hare. But just as a side note, hare, that's antenna. Your hair is antenna. So that's why it's a good idea to have long hair, both men and women, because it's antenna, right? It has its own, connects you, makes you way more intuitive. That's why the army likes to shave off men's hair, makes them less intuitive, right? So your hair is also alive. It's alive and it's picking up energy and frequencies too. But that's anyway, that's another video. Okay, so let's talk about the hair here. And why does the hair connect to the 24, the 24th gate? This is the totem. Well, the hair is the symbol of cyclical return. So the hairs are active at dawn and dusk. So they move in and out of visibility, much like the way the mind in the 24 loops in and then loop back into silence. You'll be thinking about something. Why am I thinking about that? And then boom, it's silence. I'm not thinking about that now, right? So it emerges from hidden places. It darts out, right? It darts out and then it disappears again. So this is the mirror of the mental process of the gate 24. The mind will return to old thoughts. This is the loop, right? Seeks the insight, and then it retreats back into silence, only to return again. This is the loop, over and over, until the insight comes. So this is the ebb and flow of contemplative looping. The return, again and again, to a thought that longs to become something new, something new. And this is the invention, right? Invention is the gift here. So the hare is a lunar creature. It's often associated with the moon, the rabbit and the moon. So it's about intuition, rebirth, and even myths. Like in Celtic myth, the moon hare is a shamanic creature that dies and is reborn. Just like gate 24, dies and returns anew. So the moon is the emotional and mental rhythms, and gate 24 sits in the ajna, where thoughts rise and fall like the moon phase. So this here is reminding us, like, let the mind wax and wane. Don't get so, attached to a certain thought, right? And then act on it, right? That's not a good place to be. It's not to use your mind. This is not self. Don't use your mind to be making your decisions from. Just let the mind wax and wane. That's what it's doing with this 24. So the true magic is in the stillness between the thoughts. So hares are incredibly alert. Like, look at those ears, right? Their ears are always listening, even when they're not in motion. Maybe when they're sitting still, the ears are still up. So this reflects the acoustic nature of the ajna. So any individual gates or channels, right? Individuality is acoustic. So sound is really important for the individual, right? And so this is the acoustic nature of the ajna in 24. So you're not really seeing an insight. You don't see images, but you hear it in a silent way. It's not like you're hearing the actual words, right? But you're hearing it. It means that you're translating, right? The 24 is a translator. It's translating those frequencies into an insight, an epiphany, and a knowingness, right? So you hear it in a silent way. And 24 is not about logical deduction. It's not about logic at all, right? But it's hearing, it's inner knowing through silence and not noise. So this is about listening and stillness. And then more about the hare. They're creatures of sudden creation. One moment they're still, and then they're exploding in motion. If you've ever watched a hare or a rabbit, right? And this aligns with the gift of invention in the 24th gene key. Addiction loops, because it's the shadow of addiction, the 24, right? Which is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Addiction actually comes from the mind, comes from the 24. And invention spirals, right? Spirals. So right away, invention is part of the divine feminine. Remember I talked about she spirals. The masculine does the ladder, right, method, but the divine feminine spirals. So the hair doesn't move in a straight line. It zigzags. It's unpredictable. And much like the quantum leap that happens in the 24th gift when inspiration sparks invention, right? And just to use me as a personal example, because 24 is in my Jupiter, is what do I do? When I used to write blogs, I still do this. I immerse myself in something. I get caught up in a passion for a subject or an idea, or it's coming from, I feel like it's coming from my intuition, and then I just immerse myself in it. I just read about it, I watch videos about it, and then something happens, and something happens is this quantum leap, and I go, like I'm going down this highway, and then I take this left turn, and the left turn is like this idea of invention, right? It's like, but I needed to go through that immersion first, and then with the mind, because the mind's taking it all in, and then it's churning everything, and then out comes the left turn, right? And the left turn is like the awarenesses that come to me that are original and authentic. So just so you understand a little bit more from my direct experience. And then the other thing is it's a messenger. The hair is a messenger between worlds in mythology. So they're often seen as liminal beings. They travel between the worlds of spirit and matter. And gate 24 sits at the crossroads of rationalization and mutation. It's there. So this is the mind's attempt to birth something new from the unknown. So it's a translational gate, like I said, right? It's translating, and it's trying to make sense of what's coming from the gate 61, and that's inner truth. So the hair carries messages from the void, which is exactly what the knower in gate 24 is doing, right? The listener between the words, right? The listener between the words. Okay, so that's what I have for the 24, and then we'll go into the readings. But first I want to talk about the retreat. So that's online weekend retreat. And so the people that have been on one know exactly what it's about. And it's going from May 16th to the 18th. So that's all weekend. And then there's an integration meditation on May 21st. That's the Wednesday. And then the 25th is the group integration meditation here. So the main theme is awakening the divine feminine. And we're going to be looking at Lilith. So Lilith rising, and this is the exiled feminine, and there's a lot of power here. And it's the shadow, right? The shadow of the feminine here is Lilith. And so according to your chart, there's a lot of power for you to uncover in terms of your astrology chart and your human design chart. So we're going to be going into that. So I've got lots of information on my website, and if you feel called, like, oh, I'm getting a zing, I need to be on this, and of course it's for women only here, right? Lilith rising. And my culture, just because we're talking about Jupiter on the red side is your culture. I talk about this in the soul purpose readings, is 15 to like 20 people, 15, and that's what I attract here. So that's where I can really catalyze this group of people. It's called a unit. So I'm here to reach these people and then transmit a mutation. And they're very powerful. I really, really enjoy them. And we're due for one. So this is the dates, May 16th to 18th. And it's if you go and check out the website to learn more information about it, and it's about empowering your divine feminine and reclaiming, right, these gifts. There's gifts here for them through Lilith. Okay, and let's go for the readings. Okay, so let's go to the fractal first and see what's going on, what the cards have to say. for this week. And what do we got here? We got the world reversed here, the world reversed. And so what's this saying is the cycle that you're in is not complete yet. So it means you're in a karmic loop and you're returning to reclaim something that you couldn't bring closure. It's like, I tried to bring closure on this, but it didn't close, right? Whatever it is for you. And now you're circling back, right? So this is 24 in action. This is the 24th gate in action. So before, what you say is, before I can move forward, I need to go back and check if I missed something. You know, you're going on a trip, right? You're going on a trip and you're all packed and you're ready to go. And you're like, I just need to do one more check in the home. And it's like, are all the lights off, or, right? Are all the windows closed? Like that kind of thing. So this is what you're going back. You're going back to check. Did I miss something before I move forward here? So what's unresolved may not be outer, right? Like a relationship or a task or a job or something like that, right? It's an internal frequency that hasn't quite clicked the truth yet. So you may feel like, why am I still here? Why am I still here? Didn't I already do this? Well, I thought I dealt with this, right? But there's still one more key to retrieve. And it's not in the noise, it's in the silence. It's in the silence. And this is great to do too. I mean, talk about like leaving your house and going somewhere. I always take a moment just to close my eyes and I ask my intuition, is there something, did I forget something? And my intuition will communicate like something really, like, you know, valuable. Oh, you forgot your wallet. Your wallet's inside, or your key. Remember that key or that thing that you have to bring, right? So really to embrace silence this week, right? That's the city of the 24. The divine gift is silence. And then you've got the 6 of Cups and what's being remembered. So this is a soul memory. For the fractal, a soul memory is surfacing from childhood. Could even be from your past life. A past life memory is coming up. Or a previous version of yourself, like from the past, right? That you've outgrown, but it's like, oh, why am I thinking about this thing that I did? Especially the 6 lines, right? If you're thinking about 0 to 30, what happened 0 to 30? Because you were a different person then. So this carries tenderness, innocence, and grief too. So you're remembering who you were before the betrayal, before you got betrayed. Maybe if it's a relationship, you're thinking about all the good times, right? The good times before the betrayal, when this relationship turned sour, right? When it started to expire, you may be thinking about the good times, right? And this was, or what was promised. Well, we made all these promises together, right, before the trauma hit. So this is the moment the true voice was silenced, right here. This was the moment the true voice was silenced. And so this is gate 25 energy. Remember, Venus is in the 25. And it's lit up by Saturn in North Node. So the return to innocence, right? Not naive, but sacred. Oh, I was so naive then, right? With these promises I made and blah, 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 blah. So it's like a return to innocence, like to reclaim that. Don't get cynical and jaded, right? Like I learned my lesson. I learned my lesson here. And I'm not going to let it be like squelch my own sense of innocence, divine innocence. Okay. And you're not naive. Some people are like, that's never going to happen to me again. I'm putting up the walls around my heart. That's not the way to go, right? It's to claim it's to integrate it, get the lesson, but keep your heart open. But now you're not going to be smarter about the choices you make. Okay, so 3 of Wands, something new is coming, Fractal. Something new is coming with the 3 of Wands. She's waiting, right? Her surfboard, something's coming in. And this is your relationship, right? This is a moment between, you can't see it. That's what it is. Your relationship to what's coming is you can't see it clearly yet, right? But you know, you can sense something's coming. So this is the moment between vision and arrival. Moment between vision and arrival. So this is the divine feminine standing at the edge of her own soul shoreline, right? And watching something approach, but not fully formed. I know something's coming, I sense it, but it's not fully formed. It hasn't landed in 3D yet. So you don't want to name it, right? With the 24, you don't want to name it yet. Don't yet. Oh, well, it's this and this and this. It's like, I don't know. That's your mantra, right? I don't know what this is. I just sense it. I'm just listening. So you're learning to let the future come to you, right? As a divine feminine. Let it come to you. So you're learning to trust the unknown and the unseen. Not because you're passive, but because you're becoming receptive in a new, empowered way. Right? You're magnetizing things to you now. And then what's being restructured for you is the Three of Pentacles right here. And so this is your value system, right? Your relationship to co-creation, your internal self. So this is a collaboration with the divine. It's not just people, it's the divine, your collaboration with the divine. So the message here is you're building something new with the Three of Pentacles, but you're not meant to do it alone, right? From your old identity, the old ways. You're not meant to do it the old ways, but you're here to create something new. So this is you're being reshuffled, right? So some will leave. Some will leave, whatever situation that you're in. Some of you are going to leave, and others will arrive, right, at post-resolution. So this is a new, so some are leaving and some are arriving to this, right? So this is a new foundation that's forming under the surface to support who you're becoming, not who you've been, who you're becoming. That's what's supported. So if you're trying to go back to the old you and the old ways, there's no support for you there. It's who you're becoming. And then you got the Hierophant as the anchor card, and this is your soul contract, is reactivating. So this is initiation, it's sacred remembrance, it's saying to don't follow blindly. So this card is saying with the Hierophant that you are your own sacred authority now. You're listening to your own inner voice. You're listening to your own inner teacher. You're not, right? You've got the mic now. You're taking the mic back from that relationship, that karmic relationship here. So you're anchoring in a new alignment with the divine, right? And one that does not require the approval of others, externals, because the Hierophant can be quite traditional too, represent traditional, like masculine hierarchies, right? You're not about the approval of these external systems, not trying to fit into the system, right? So this is your own spiritual gatekeeper. This is religion, right? As well. It's not like, and if you're on my fractal, you know this. I don't even think I need to tell you, right? Is that you're not seeking approval from these external systems, especially when it comes to your spirituality. And so you're becoming your own high priestess. You're letting that high priestess come in more and more. You're your own teacher, your own high counsel. So this is the frequency of truth, grounded in your own love of self and your own devotion, right? Not devoted to your ego, devoted to your soul, right? So it's not dogma. And then you got the animal guides. You got beaver and you got otter. So beaver is rooted, committed, and the builder, beaver's build, of emotional foundation. So the beaver says, if it's worth building, it's worth feeling into it first. So beaver says, feel into it first before you start just on the 3D building, right? Feel into it first. And then Beaver says, build your life from presence, not from the urgency or productivity trauma. Like, I've got to earn my worth. I've got to be productive. What have I done today to justify my existence, right? Beaver says, no, it's about you being present through every step and feeling. Remember, we're moving from a mental awareness system into a solar plexus awareness system. So it's about shifting from thinking your way through life to feeling your way through life. What's my sense here? Like, getting more into your intuitive feeling nature. And that means being in your body, divine feminine. So, and then the Three of Pentacles is the medicine here. And the Beaver is like slow, intentional, and take your time. Don't be rushing through things, right? Stay present. And then the Otter is like, have a good time while you're doing it, right? Flow and play, emotional intelligence. And so this is joy, right? The trust, when you trust more and more and more, and you anchor into that self-love, and you really trust in the divine, well, joy is a product of that, right? And it's not the other way around, right? Well, when I'm joyful, I'll trust. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You've got to trust first, and then joy comes. So Otter's inviting you back to laugh, right? Belly laughter. It's about inviting you back from lightness after the grief that you felt, right? It's about innocence, feeling innocent without the shame. So this is the Six of Cups up here, right, embodied with Otter here. And it's the counterweight to the world reversed heaviness, right? So Otter can really help you too, is to bring more lightness into your life. Yeah, right? And your joy is earned. This joy is earned, so you claim it, right? Okay. So I would also look at your dreams too, Fractal. Make sure that you're connecting with your dreams, because it's working. This energy is working through your dreams. It's working through your ancestry, your bloodline, and you're remembering the part of you that was never lost. Never lost, only left unfinished with that world in reverse. And trust the silence. Trust your inner builder, Beaver, and trust the joy that comes after the storm. There's joy coming after the storm. So this cycle is completing, but only if you let yourself be still enough to receive the final key, right? So still and silent for this new moon in this week leading up to it. Okay. So that's the fractal. And let's go for the twin flames. What are the cards saying about the twin flames, what they're up to? So the new moon for the twin flames, 24th gate. So this is death reversed here. So this is the old timeline isn't fully finished yet. Remember, we're jumping into a new timeline. Same for the twin flames too, and the fractal, right? So we're moving out of this old timeline, but this death reversed is like, no, you're not quite done this old timeline. But it needs to be, right? This old timeline needs to be. So this is energetic limbo, an energetic limbo. So the story's looping. The story's looping because the mind hasn't allowed the ending to fully integrate, right? So this is the shadow of the 24 here. Did I miss something? Right? Did I miss something? Did I miss a detail? Maybe it's not over. Maybe it's not over. But your soul already knows that this phase is done. So remember with the twin flames, the twin flame travelers, the twin flame journey, it's a series of ups and downs. It's a process. It's a process of death, rebirth, right? Because it's an ego death that you have to experience as a twin. So you're going through phases. There's like phases, like level 1, level 2, level 3 on the twin flame journey. So this is saying like one of these levels is over, but it's looping right now, right? It's looping. So it's just to allow, like, don't follow in terms of divine feminine, like don't chase the thoughts that are coming up, like the obsessive thoughts maybe coming back, going over conversations or going over texts and things like that, whatever you're doing, right, for chasing, is to not follow the thoughts. It's like, oh, this is just the mind doing, it's looking for resolution, right? Don't follow it. Because my sense is that you're attaching to the mind, that seeker's mind. So this means that the soul already knows that this phase is done, this timeline phase that you're in. But doesn't mean the twin flame connection's done. It can never be done. But the form it once took, right? So that's the other thing, is the death and rebirth of the form that the twin flame connection takes. This is over. It's over now. So the mind is struggling to accept the finality of that, right? So remember that the twin flame connection, you can never get rid of it. You can't do cord cutting and all that stuff on the twin flame journey, but you can let go of the form, right? So if your twin flame was showing you shadow, 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 right? And that's what you're obsessed with, and you're looking at their shadow, then this form has to die. That form has to die. Because if you're looking at their shadow, because somebody wrote that on one of the comments, well, what does it mean if I'm an empath and they're a psychopath? That's not your twin flame. If you're looking at it like that, you're saying I'm victim, right? And that the other person is the abuser. The abuser. That's what I talked about at the beginning of the video. It's like not projecting on the mirror. The mirror is your twin flame. If you're putting yourself in that position, you're in victim consciousness, and it's not empowering, right? So that person may not be your twin flame, especially if you're not healing. If you're not healing and you're stuck in that loop, you're stuck in this loop of victim abuser, then they're a karmic, and the karmic just pokes at the wound. Poke, 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 poke at the wound. There's no resolution there with the karmic. The resolution is to leave, right? The resolution is to stand up for your own self-respect and self-love and to leave, right? The twin is different. You can't leave. Energetically, you cannot leave the twin. So this is saying to let it die. Right? So let the shadows die. Let the distortion die. All of that. Let that die. Let the past go. This is what our past connection was, the form of our past connection. We're not going to reinvent that. You can as a twin. It's very transformational, right? This twin flame journey. Okay, so this is the end the mental loop, which is don't follow the mind and don't try to resuscitate the old timeline, right? It's done. It's done. So what soul memory is returning to be healed here? And then 3 cards popped out here, right? And this has to be healed right here. So this is a memory of sacred love, Ace of Wands, pure, unconditional, and open-hearted love. But it was betrayed, hidden, or manipulated, the 7 of Swords, when somebody tried to manage or juggle it instead of choosing it fully. And this could be like stuffing it down, right? Stuffing down those feelings, right? Not acknowledging them. It's trying to be an addiction, right? In addictions, like I just want to numb myself to these feelings. Addicted to busyness, even drugs or alcohol. I don't want to feel this, right? I don't want to feel this because it's triggering me. It's triggering me. So this could be a past life, totally a past life phase, right? Frequency, where love was real. Right? So remember that the twin is the mirror, and it's going to mirror if it's got like abandonment issues or rejection or anything like that. It's going to mirror you back to either a past life or your early childhood. Right? And so this is, and it wasn't spoken. Maybe in your family, it was love really wasn't spoken about. It was masked by ego or control, right? This is like didn't receive affection as a child, weren't told that you were loved, right? By a caretaker. It will trigger this. This needs to be healed with the twin flame. Or you were treated like a backup plan, right? By your twin, like, oh, an option, right? This person's an option. They're not my twin. That can trigger those early childhood stuff too. But I would go back to past lives as well. So the resolution theme is to remember the truth of the love. This is what's true, right? Is the love. That's what's real, right? That's the connection. That's what's real. And release the pattern of hiding, delaying, or emotionally juggling, right? Or trying to spiritual leapfrog over that. It's like bring yourself back to this is what's real. It's the love inside me, the love inside your twin, right? That's what's real. Even if it hadn't been expressed, you know that it's real. It's this knowingness, the 24. And so what's silently shifting in them behind the scenes, even if they're not speaking it or showing it? So this is the Six of Pentacles reverse. So they're realizing how out of balance the twin flame connection was, right? That you gave, and they took, right? It was out of balance. So they're facing the truth, right? Your twin is facing the truth that they gave way too little, and they only gave when it felt safe, or it was on their terms, right? So this could also be financial shame that they're going through, your twin, not being able to take care of themselves financially. It could be on emotional unavailability, like they're not even emotionally present with themselves. It could be a pattern of withholding love to stay in control. Well, I can't show that I love because then they'll have power over me and they can hurt me, right? So I got to keep my cards close to my chest. But silently they know, right? They know the truth is coming, right? So they've been asked to look at their own heart and ask. Your twin has been forced to ask, been asked, where did I hold back? Where did I hold back in that connection with my twin? Because I was in such fear, right? I was in such fear. And this can come across too, like in their current situation of like a fear of debt. So this could be emotional debt. Well, if I held myself back because then I feel like I would owe that person. And this is like love needs to be earned, right? That belief system that your twin is uncovering here. So they're waking up to the cost of their withholding, what it costs them to withholding, right? Withholding. And this isn't punishment. It's the mirror of integrity. Yeah. So this is the looping, right? The 24 loops. And this is the thing with the twins. They definitely go through the looping mind, because the soul wants to communicate something like, look at yourself, right? The twin is the clearest mirror you're going to get in this lifetime, right? Your twin is going to mirror the things that you need to look at. And it's like, okay, why do I withhold love? Yes, that's a pattern of mine. I totally did it with my twin, and I've done it all my life. Why do I do that? Why? And then you integrate it, right? You get the medicine, the mirror, right? The mirror medicine. I take the healing medicine, and then I integrate it, and then I alchemize it, and I grow and expand. So what are you being asked to build now within yourself, Divine Feminine? Right? The Five of Cups, right? And so this is deep emotional alchemy here. So the grief is lifting only because you allowed yourself to truly feel it. It's time to feel it. So this card says you're being asked to focus not on what you lost, but what was true underneath it. So you want to build your future on emotional honesty. No more withholding, like make that commitment to yourself, right? So this is either you or your twin holding back, right? Holding back here. So this is like, I'm going to be emotionally honest. I'm going to be in integrity now as I move forward. So build your future on emotional honesty, not on processed grief. And this is the Phoenix moment for the twin flame, right? You've cried the sacred tears, and now it's time to build from the clean waters. And so the resolution theme is to use your grief to deepen your capacity to love, not your capacity to wait, right? So no waiting, no waiting. Anybody listening to this, you're not to wait for your twin flame. It's about moving forward. It's all about you aligning with your soul purpose and your soul, and to be empowered. And that's moving forward and letting go of this old form and this old timeline. That's not going to repeat. You can't step in the same river twice. Keep moving forward on your soul purpose. Okay, so what is the new sacred teaching emerging from this connection, your twin flame connection? And look what you got. You got the Four Pentacles reversed here is the anchor card. This is saying release your grip, right? Let go of the energetic need to hold on to the twin, to the connection, to the outcome. I know, right? Right? I know the 24. I know what it's going to look like. I'm completely in control. It's to let this go, it says. Release the need to be right. I was right, right? They're a psychopath, and I'm the victim here. I'm a sensitive, right? Like any games, mind games that you're playing here is like, to let this go. It's not about being right. Or right about how this version is meant to go. So this is massive for the TFs, for the twin flames. And it's like, true union cannot be possessed. It can only be received, right? So look at her clinging to her purse. She's got to let go of the purse, stop clinging, and their twin flame can only be received, not controlled, right? Or possessed. So you walk this teaching by staying open and not holding, and keeping your heart available, not clenched and closed off, and letting love be love, even if it's not reflected back to you. You love yourself, right? So this is to walk love as openness and not attachment, and to remember that you are love, right? As a twin flame, the love's already inside you. You don't need that validation outside of you, right? You don't need somebody to love you. You love yourself. And then the animal spirit here is the cosmic egg, and this is the crown chakra. So it's completion. So this is the final card in the animal spirit deck, and it's the end and the beginning all at once, right? So this confirms it. Your sacred cycle is closing. You're coming to an energetic self-containment. All that energy that you've been leaking to your twin is, you're shoring up. You're shoring up those leaks, right, with the cosmic egg. In my senses, it's already been done with the 24. The mind hasn't caught up with it. This has already happened with your twin. And you'll notice it. It's like, oh, they're usually in my field, like all the time, like 24/7. They're just there. Like this radio you can't turn off in your room. Wherever you go, there it is, right? You go outside and you're in your car, it's still there, right? That's your twin in your field. And then suddenly it's like, I don't feel them anymore, right? But the mind will want to go back. This is the addiction, right? To go back and loop. And it's like, no, let it be. The mind will catch up to what's happened. Something's happened. You've been shored up here. This is a gift to the fractal, this cosmic egg. So this is self-containment, and that's definitely the greater purpose of you being self-sovereign as your twin. Twins don't come together until they're whole unto themselves. There can be no codependent, no energy ties and cords. any of that stuff between the two. So this is the union, is the field within your own consciousness. So this is the twin that no longer leaks. This is really good news right here. We should be celebrating this, who's watching this. Right? Who no longer begs the mirror, right? Begging the mirror, the twin, for reflection, and becomes the mirror themselves, So you don't have to finish the story with the mind, right? Resolution with the mind. It's already resolved in your soul. This is all taken care of in the soul level. This is about, the twin is about surrendering to the soul. This is a divine connection. Has nothing to do with the mind and the ego, right? So the past is rising, so you can witness it with love, right? You can witness it with love, not distortion. So you just remember that Ace of Cups, that was when stuff starts to come up. No, the connection was real. I felt it. Even if your twin never admitted it, you felt it, and it's real. So the silence is sacred, the return is internal, and you're not letting go of the love here, right? You're letting go of the version of you who thought it had to be held so tightly, right? You had to possess it and own it and control it, right? This is what you're letting go of, not the love itself, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's what we got for the twins here. Okay. And let's go for the MGs. What's going on with those manifesting generators here? Okay. As it relates to the 24th gate, that should be 24. Okay, so Ace of Swords, this is mental clarity, right? So this is a breakthrough. This is mental resolution that I talked about with the 24, is landing, right? It's landing. If you haven't seen the beginning of the video, you need to watch the beginning of the video here. It's too long for me to repeat. Okay, so mental resolution, that means the aha, the insights have landed here with Ace of Swords. So for manifesting generators, they loop faster and jump ahead energetically, right? Because of their type. So this card is a moment of clean insight. It's like, I finally see, I saw it, I see it now. So it might be the realization of a past pattern, a truth about a connection, a revelation that breaks an old loyalty, right? Or simply that person can't meet me where I'm going, right? Whatever it is, it's final. What you've seen is final. You can't unsee it, MGs. You saw it, now you can't unsee it. So there's no mental fog here. The truth is sharp, clear, and embodied. And this is landing, the 24-1, the new moon 24-1 is landing. Landing with this resolution, and this is like the loops end it. The loops end it this week. The knowing returns, the mind is clear. So maybe you're already in this energy, manifesting generators, because you kind of do things ahead of time anyway, just for your type. And then the Lover's card is the sacred choice. So this is about relationships. You've finally seen the truth about a relationship or relationships. But it's more than just romance, right? So this is about alignment of your values, your timelines, and your soul frequency. And so this is the moment, Divine Feminine, MGs, that your body says, yes, this is the one. This is the one, right? Or no. Right? So your body is either saying yes or no. No, this is not the person. This is not the one. Or yes, it is the one. Or no, this version, no more. It was at one time, but no, it's not for me. My body's telling me this. So the Lovers always asks, right? The Lover's card, is it karmic? Is this relationship karmic, or is it divine? Am I choosing from fear? Right? Am I choosing from fear? Afraid of being alone, afraid I won't survive without this person, right? Whatever it is. Or am I choosing from truth? And this is, the truth is, like, this is a spiritual divine connection, the Lover's card. So can I stay rooted in myself while merging, right? Will I lose myself if I merge with this person? And that's a feminine wound. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be talking about this more in the divine feminine rising Lilith online retreat, right? The feminine wound is I'm going to lose myself in this relationship, right? I'll lose my identity. I'll have no sense of self in this relationship, right? It's ancestral here. Okay. And then, so can I stay rooted? Can I stay rooted in myself here? And with the Ace of Swords, many of you manifesting generator divine feminines you're cutting the cords. You're cutting the energetic cords. You're choosing differently, right? You're no longer going to betray yourself. You're not going to lose yourself and lose your identity in relationship, right? You're not going to betray this clarity that you've seen, like never again. You may be going through that, MGs, like never again. I'm not going to repeat that in this relationship. And then the anchor is the Two of Cups and the King of Cups underneath here. So this is the mirror. The Two of Cups is the mirror. And so this is a sacred meaning for the manifesting generators, but in the context with the King of Cups supporting it. So this isn't about fantasy, right? It's not rushing in fantasy. It's about emotional. It's like emotional maturity, King of Cups. There's an emotional maturity here. And this is a soul bond here. It's a deep soul bond. So this says you're ready for mutual devotion here, not drama, right? You've now seen that drama equals karma, right? That there's a presence, there's a relaxation of your, nervous system in your body when it's divinely aligned. This is divine, right? So so this is saying don't abandon your sacral, MG, for just chemistry. And I talked about this in the last video, right? Like the cortisol and all this, our internal pharmacy gets activated with the karmic, right? Our nervous system goes on high alert. You're not going to abandon yourself by that anymore. This is collapsing. You've seen the truth now. So let your emotional mastery lead now, right? Right? And this is like, this combination here is so mature, manifesting generators. This is like, I can love you and I can still choose me. And I can still choose me. I don't have to lose myself. Or even the love is real and the choice is clean, right? The love is real and the choice is clean. And then you've got the camel. This is resilience and inner reserves, the long journey. And the camel says you've come so far, MGs. You've come so far. You've stored so much. And now walk with trust, right? Walk with trust. Even in the dry places, which is like the unknown, right? To know that you've got the inner reserves, right? The complete trust in the divine here. When there doesn't seem to be safety and security that you're used to on the external, you're going to walk forward because the camel knows, I got it. I got the water inside, right? I can move through a drought. And so like you too, with Taurus, new moon Taurus, I've got the inner reserves in me and complete 100% trust in the divine. So this may say that you as an MG, right? You may feel tired, emotionally spent, or unsure who's truly capable of walking beside you, who's strong enough for you to walk beside you. But the truth is you've got the inner reserves, right, yourself. So you don't need to sprint or collapse. You can pace yourself with grace, So the unicorn, this is crown chakra activation. You see the purple there. So this is divine insight. It's the mystic path. This card brings the entire spread here of spiritual, and you're being spiritually initiated here. So the manifesting generators not only walk away, you're not only walking away from misaligned connections that are not aligned with your soul purpose and your soul journey and your destiny, that you're being prepared, MGs, for a divine partnership, the kind that's anchored in soul purpose, your intuitive resonance, your nonverbal recognition, and your energetic truth. So this isn't about finding someone. It's about you, about becoming someone worthy of what their soul already sees. So you're becoming worthy of what they already see in you. Yeah. So the knowings here, Ace of Swords, and cut what isn't true, speak what is, speak the truth. And the Lovers, this is a sacred choice. No more split timelines. And that's been a theme of the MGs. Well, in the Fractal too. Two of Cups, King of Cups. Love can be deep and clean. Embody devotion without losing yourself. And then the Camel, you're resilient. Pace yourself. You don't need to prove. And then you're being prepared for union. Right? The Unicorn is even saying this too. That matches your soul. So you want to trust the mystery. Wow, that's awesome for the MGs. Okay. And then we have projectors. Projectors here. The new moon. And that should be that's the 24th gate for the new moon. And the projectors, what have they got going on? They got the Two of Cups reversed. And then the King of Pentacles. So this is the pain here of love unspoken, not communicated. Energetic bonds that are frayed, but still not cut. They're uncut. And this is mismatched timing between soul and ego. So it doesn't mean to say that the love is false. It says the relationship isn't mutual. It's not mutual in the moment, because it is still the Two of Cups. So there's a bond there. But in this present moment, it's not aligned. It's not aligned. So the invitation isn't being made. There's no invitations coming for the projector. The other one hasn't arrived yet. They're MIA. They're like a train that they were supposed to arrive like last week. You know what I mean? And it's still not arrived. It's still not arrived. But what's wild about this, it reflects the pain, because remember we talked about the mirror at the beginning of the video. It reflects the pain of not being recognized. And this is a pain that all projectors have to deal with. They just couldn't see me. They didn't value me, right? And there's pain there. It goes right back to childhood, right? So this is the pain of not being recognized, even when the scene is still so deeply intact, because you see them. That's the thing with the projectors. You know, I'm a projector. We see authenticity. That's how we guide. We've got the laser beam aura, right? That goes right into the G center of the other type. And what are we guiding? We're not guiding their not self. We're guiding their authenticity. We can see other people so deeply. So projector, you can see this person, right? But they can't see themselves. And that's the pain. There's the pain. They can't even see what I see in them. Their greatness. They can't see it. They can't see it. And no matter what you say, they're not going to believe it because they've got to see it themselves, right? They have to see their greatness in themselves first. But yet, this is a yet, right? So the connection sits, right? The train, you're looking up at like when's the arrival, right? You know, with the train at the train station, and it's still like it's not canceled yet, like it's still coming, but you don't know when. And this is trusting in divine timing, and then working with this pain, right? Take the medicine, the pain of not being recognized, not being fully seen. We'll go right back to your childhood. So then you've got the King of Pentacles, which is Mr. Stability here, right? It could be Queen of Pentacles, if you want it to be Queen of Pentacles. So you're holding the vibration, projector, the emotional containment, the energetic structure, the earth embodiment of devotion and clarity. So this is the projector that's no longer chasing outcomes, right? They've become the mountain now, right? You become the mountain now as the King of Pentacles. You're not chasing, you're steady. And if they return, they'll find you here, right? With your dog, relaxed, right? Stable, not chasing, not panicky with panicking around. So you're not waiting, you're not longing, but you're standing and you're knowing. And this card is frequency based. It's about magnetism. So you know your worth, projector. That's what this is saying. Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, you know your worth. So you don't move to be seen. You're not doing the dog and pony show anymore, trying to get recognition. You're grounded. Let them find you. And you're ready for those that arrive, that will arrive and will meet you and will come to you. So the Nine of Wands reversed is you're tired, right? This is the wounded warrior, but you're still upright, right? You're still upright. So this is you're done, right? With this, you're done the waiting. You're done waiting here. Withholding space for too long, all of that stuff, like you're done. You're done here. No more waiting. You're in the King of Pentacles energy now. Yeah. And then if you go to the spirit animal, zebra here, this is eccentric, mystical, and misunderstood. The zebra often walks alone, right? Which projectors can relate to, right? Because it's painful to be with the wrong soul tribe as a projector, right? So the zebra walks alone, but it sees the patterns, right? Zebra sees the patterns that the other types can't see. And this is projector animal for sure, is the zebra. And so it says, zebra says, yeah, you're different, right? Yeah, your love looks a bit weird to other people, right? It's not traditional. It's not traditional. Yes, you may not be recognized right now, but you're seen with outer worldly eyes, and what you know will matter soon, right? You can see. You got to let the world catch up to you, projectors, right? Because you walk between the worlds. You hold on to the mystery of the unknown and the map. So you've not been forgotten, projectors. The love you feel is not a delusion. Don't think that you're crazy. You're just not ready, right? The other one's not ready to meet you yet. And you're not meant to collapse, right? Collapse and doing the dog and pony show and performing for others just to be chosen. You're meant to stand in your field of clarity until the other becomes clear enough to arrive or dissolve, right? They'll either arrive or they will dissolve. So your love isn't lost. It's just being unrecognized at this time. But your frequency is the signal, right? And so those that are meant to walk with you, projector, you'll feel it, even if they don't understand it yet. Okay, so that's what we got for the projectors. Okay, so let's go for the manifestors. The manifestors. And again, manifestors, that should be a 24. 24th gate. You got the Eight of Swords. What's that saying? That's saying that you can feel misunderstood, unseen, unable to act without backlash, and you're caught in someone else's rules or expectations. So you feel trapped wherever you are, manifestors, right? But these ropes are illusions. So you don't need to fight. You need to feel what this silence is teaching you, right? So in the context of the 24, this is, you know, in the context of the 24.1, this is about you looping in your mind, in your head. Do I still want to lead this? Is this even safe to speak right now? Why does no one understand what I'm holding? But the truth is, this is just the moment before the next initiation for you. So you just need clarity, not movement. Clarity, and clarity will come with the new moon. Chariot reversed and Queen of Cups says that your energy is split or scattered. And you may have tried in the past to like charge ahead, but you hit the resistance. So now you're questioning your direction entirely. And the Queen of Cups' message is saying you're not wrong. You're just tired, right? You're just tired. You're feeling too much. And your power is hiding underneath your sensitivity. Right? So this is, you're afraid to lead because you've been punished for caring too much, right? You may have been abandoned, your emotional body, right? Abandon your emotions in favor of making something happen, needing to pause, gather, and realign with why you even care in the first place. And together, these two cards are saying, don't initiate right now, right? Don't push, and sink into your intuition and let your emotions speak. And you'll begin again when it's real. So this week, it's like really trust this 24, right? That the mental awareness, the mental aha will come to you for the new moon. Two of Pentacles is you've been juggling, right? You're holding multiple lives here, multiple roles here. You've been the one leading, you've been the one dreaming, you've been the one quietly grieving. But you're doing it all without showing the weight. You're not letting people see the weight that you're carrying, right? You're juggling. So you don't need to do all this anymore, right? So you want to choose the one that's most aligned with you, even if it means letting go of who you thought you had to be for other people. So this is decision time, right? But not from the head, right? It depends on your authority, right? So it's either from the spleen, the heart, or the emotional wave, right? Depending on your authority. No more juggling just to keep other people comfortable. And then the spirit animal is the lizard. And so this is saying your sensitivity is a gift, not a threat, and you're seeing things before they're fully formed. So you must retreat into the dream state, the silence of the 24, right? To restore clarity. So the lizard knows when to lay on a rock and chill out and to absorb the warmth and wait. It doesn't force its environment. It blends and it observes and then moves with precision. So this is about letting the next vision gestate, not from pressure, but presence there for the manifestors. Okay. And okay, so the not the manifesting generators, the generators, the OGs are the generators, the OGs, the original generators. Okay, so that should be 24th gate here. And so what do the generators got? They got the Hangman reverse, right? So the flame can't rise until the grief burns out. So this card is saying that you're holding on out of loyalty. This is tribal. It smells like tribal consciousness to me. To the past, loyalty to the past, to others, to your potential. So this card is saying, Hangman reversed, is you've already been shown the truth. And why are you still waiting upside down like a bat? So the pause has lasted way too long, generators. There's something you know is over. It's either a relationship, a belief system, a soul contract, but you haven't given yourself permission to fully let go yet. So this is the 24-1, right? The loop, the mental loop. Watch the beginning of the video to understand this. right? The loop is maybe I missed something, maybe I can fix it, maybe it's not dead yet, but the truth is the knowing already arrived. The energy's already done. The mind just hasn't signed the release form right yet, right? You haven't signed the pink slip yet, but it's already expired. It's done. The mind has to catch up. And then you've got the Five of Cups, and so grief must be felt before your sacral will reignite. So this card shows that the generator's sacral is still tied to the past, tied to their past. Not longing, but in mourning. Mourning who you were in that relationship, mourning what you gave that wasn't returned, wasn't reciprocated, mourning a hope, right, that didn't come to fruition. But what you may not realize is two cups, right? Two cups still remain, right? The two cups behind her still remain here. And but they can't be seen until you feel the grief, right? So for generators, grief is often hidden under service. So you maybe keep doing, earning, right? Supporting, creating to avoid feeling. But this new moon is saying to stop and let it burn, right? Let it clear. So your next yes is on the other side of sadness, right? You're out of your power. You're disconnected from your sacral. And the grief is burying that. So judgment here. So this is the awakening is near. So this card is calling you back to yourself, your true self. And the sacred bell is ringing. It's time for you to rise now. But only the true version of you is welcome in the next chapter. And this is the rebirth after the grief. So the divine realignment after letting the illusions fall. So it doesn't require effort, just honest self-recognition. So the generator doesn't need to do anything yet. You don't need to do anything yet, but you do need to choose. That's what you have to do, is choose. So you're no longer responding to what drains you. You're no longer giving to ghosts, right? You're not giving your energy to ghosts. So the spirit animal is the peacock, and the peacock says you're still beautiful, generators. You're still magnetic. You still got it going on, right? You didn't lose anything real, right? Only what was false. You only lost what was false. So let the ashes fall off your feathers. What's next will love your truth. And the peacock walks with elegance after it's endured humiliation, rejection, or grief. The peacock has her head up high, right? And it shines again, not because it tries, right? Because it finally stops hiding. The peacock doesn't hide. So come out of hiding. So this is the post-judgment, right? When you choose yourself and your soul purpose, is you're clear, you're proud, in a good way, proud. You have self-respect, nobility, and you're ready to respond to again, but only to what's real and true for this new moon. Okay. And what do we got left? We got the reflectors here. Where's the reflectors? Okay, so let's go to the reflectors to finish off this transmission. And it's the new moon. I've got three animals here. Okay, so the Six of Cups. And remember, I shuffled these beforehand. I actually shuffled these yesterday. And they jump out. And yeah, let's look at this though. So Six of Cups reversed. So this is emotional memory that's not yours. So you're a lunar empath, reflector. You're a lunar empath. And this card says that you're still holding on to emotional imprints from the past that are not you, not you. And you're longing for what was safe, right, with your mind, and it wasn't, right? It no longer fits. So you're playing out karmic memory loops that don't even belong to you. So this isn't about pure nostalgia because it's reversed. It's energetic entanglement. So you're still living inside someone else's memory field, right? And now under the gate 24, the new moon, the soul is whispering, return to yourself, right? You're not the story, you're the mirror. Now it's time to wipe the glass. Two of Pentacles, you're trying to balance in a world that pulls you in every direction. You're juggling. So this card's saying the system is full. It's time to drop what's not yours, even if it's beautiful, right? And even if it once mattered. So letting go of expectations. And then you got the Three of Pentacles reversed, and this is false collaboration. So you're community seeking, but this card is saying the structures around you are not aligned because it's reversed. Whether it's work, your partnerships, or your soul tribe, you've been in some kind of energetic compromise, and you're being expected to fit in, right? Instead of being mirrored with reverence, people valuing you. So this is the permission slip for you to stop building with those people that can't see you, right? And then you've got tiger, crow, and butterfly. So tiger is saying, right, it doesn't chase. It waits. It waits when the moment is right. Then it moves forward. So you don't need to act. Tiger says you don't need to act. And wait until your body gives you the true yes, right? So tiger is saying drop into your instinct, not your mind, and let the knowing return. And then leap, and then take action. Crow is the observer. So this is you're holding past like frequency. You're receiving omens with crow, and you're hearing echoes that are asking you to be resolved before the next cycle comes. So this is about clearing the past, right, with the Six of Cups. And the spell is ending. The spell that you've been under is ending. So the mirror must be clean before it can reflect truth again. And then you got the butterfly. It's a call to dissolve, not evolve, dissolve. So to let the old reflector, your old self, go and die, the one who was molded, right, in order to survive this not self. So this is not just a glow up, right? This is your soul completely molting, right, this old self. So the butterfly whispers, reflector, it's okay if you're unrecognizable in a month, right? If people are like, what's she up to? I don't even recognize her. It's okay for you to change this much. That's how you know the cocoon has worked. So you're in the cocoon. Okay. So that's what I have, everybody. And if you enjoyed that, give me a thumbs up and comment in the box. I really enjoy reading your comments. And just to remember, the online retreat, it's going to be something. I can feel the energy already. And May 16th to the 18th. And I'll put a link in the information box. And if you feel called, check it out. Small group, no more than 20. Okay. So I will see you on Friday. Sat Nam Aloha, everybody. Bye-bye.